Duct material. According to National Fire Protection Association Standard 90A, it says that only Class 0 materials or Class 1 materials can be used for the construction of ducts. Class 0 materials are those materials which upon exposure to very large heat or upon destruction will not produce any hazardous material. However, Class 1 materials are those materials that may cause minor injuries. So the class 0 materials which are used for the construction of ducts are mainly metals. Now, galvanized steel can be used for the manufacturing of ducts. As we already know, this is the material that is quite commonly and most frequently used metals of all the metallic ducts. There can also be carbon steel used for the manufacturing of ducts. These ducts are specially used in places which is exposed to larger amount of heat. Aluminium can also be used to construct ducts. These are more durable, less weighted metals. So if the duct is constructed using aluminium for same dimension and same purpose, it will be having lesser weight as compared to galvanized steel. However, the cost can be more. Stainless steel can also be used for the construction of ducts. And finally, copper can also be used to construct ducts for some specific purposes. So overall, these are the different types of metals that can be used for the construction of ducts. Here is a data that will give you some insights related to the material used for duct construction. Over here, this is the thickness of galvanized sheet for rectangular ducts. In the first column, we have the gauge. We'll talk about this just now. In the next column, you see thickness given in inches. So this is the nominal thickness and this is the minimum thickness. Nominal thickness means the general value of thickness used for duct construction. However, you can reduce the thickness up to this value. It is not allowed to go beyond this value. So this is the minimum allowed thickness for duct construction sheets, metallic sheets. Over here, this is nominal weight, means what is going to be the weight of the duct material used for duct construction. Exactly, if you see, this is not weight. I want you to pause your video over here and try to figure out which quantity is this. Alright, considering that you have tried to answer this, this is not exactly weight, but this is density. You can see this is pound per square feet. So whatever pound a material has for 1 square feet of area, this quantity represents that. So this is not exactly weight or mass, we can say. Alright, lastly, we need to discuss about the gauge. The gauge is a representation of the thickness of metallic sheets. Starting from 30, the value goes down. So don't think it as if the value of gauge decreases, the thickness of gauge will also decrease. It doesn't work like that. Instead, it works the opposite way. If the gauge is lesser, the sheet will be thicker and thicker. So a sheet with 30 gauge will have less thickness than a sheet with 28 gauge. Also, it is evident from here. You see, for 30 gauge, the value is 0.656, and for 28 gauge, value is 0.781. So the density is more for a gauge with lesser value. So these are some insights that will be used during duct construction, and these are some factors that is important to be understood as far as duct material is considered. Depending upon the need and requirement of the workplace, there can also be non-metallic ducts such as fiberglass reinforced plastic, abbreviated as FRP. So this is how FRP ducts look like. These ducts are mostly used for their specific properties and nature. In general, the metallic ducts are used. However, in places where certain degree of extremity is required, such as very high temperature or a lot of customization or the aesthetic, so in these places it is quite normal to use non-metallic ducts. Next is polyvinyl chloride PVC ducts. You see, within this small section there are so much of bends and branches. So these ducts are very much easier to deal with in terms of customization. The cost of customization is very less and the possibility is very high. Another type of non-metallic duct is polyvinyl steel. This is PVS. So this is a kind of duct which is a hybrid of steel and PVC. So it has benefits of both the materials. It can be customized according to the needs quite easily. Also, it has greater strength. Next is concrete ducts. So in places where it is certain that duct has to be at fixed places and there won't be much customization, so concrete ducts are made, and these are permanent ducts. They can only be repaired from inside, or just they can be destroyed if not needed, but you cannot make a lot of customization, and a lot of changes are not possible in these kind of duct systems. Then we can also have rigid fibrous glass. These are kind of duct system made up of another material. They are very much effective in terms of heat trapping. They don't allow a lot of heat to go away from the duct. So these are various type of ducts that can be used according to cost, client's demand, possibility of construction, customers need, the atmosphere or the environmental factors. So we can consider these factors, and based on all these, whichever is the best material suited, ducts are manufactured based on that.